Ladies and gentlemen, our esteemed president, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, opened his mouth again, and it sucks. Every single time this man speaks, I am amazed at what comes out of his mouth. The ANC genuinely feels like they live in a bubble. They don't see the real effects of the things that they do, the policies that they enact, how they continuously destroy this country with arduous and sometimes completely unnecessary policies that they themselves push. And it turns out that they're not done. Just want to say a huge thank you to all of the supporters and patrons of this channel. By becoming a member or a patron, you help support the news that we bring and also allow me to do even more in the future. So huge shout out to all of you. Thank you. Anyways, enjoy the video. Bye. If anything, all of the economic woes that this country faces, all of the meltdowns and destruction that this country faces, the government, and specifically Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, still believe that empowerment laws are good, and that it is not, in fact, a problem of choosing between economic empowerment and growth. No, the two can absolutely coexist, despite the fact that they actually haven't. He starts his newsletter by saying, however, we have found that many would-be investors embrace these measures as they enhance inclusiveness, lead to broad acceptance of their companies, and tend to grow the market share. Well, let's just fact check this very quickly. Foreign direct investment, this is where companies actually invest in your country by opening businesses and so on, is about 1.4% of GDP. This number should, for developing nations, be about 5 to 10%, just FYI. But it gets worse when you go over to Covington and you look at the newest results from the International Monetary Fund, where they find that from 2021, it's actually been decreasing, right? In 2021, we had 38 billion US dollars invested into South Africa. In 2022, that was 9 billion. Now, I couldn't find any up-to-date details for 2023, 2024, but I can almost guarantee you it's not going to be much better. This really was the clincher for me on this entire thing. This is a sound strategy that recognizes that a transformed South African economy is one in which their investments are safe and guaranteed. So in other words, BEE is sound, it's safe. It will grow the economy. Well, again, let's quickly fact check that. In an article by Daily Investor, I covered this a few weeks ago on the channel, 100 people benefited from over 1 trillion rand in BEE initiatives. In other words, BEE does not benefit the broad-based black people of this country. It benefits a very few elite people who are linked to the government. Now, all of this entire newsletter, and I won't waste any more of your time reading through it because it is just a bunch of slop. And frankly, News 24, you should do a better job of actually fact-checking the president when he just spews a bunch of nonsense. Because the president basically makes the argument that empowerment laws like BBBEE is absolutely brilliant for the country and people just need to give it a little bit of time. Well, let's give it a little bit of time. We have the country actually falling so low as 0.1% economic growth in the first quarter of 2025. 0.1%. That's not very good. Even if you go and you look at the best case scenario, this is from Actual Investors Strategy and PwC, right? Where they are actually going and trying to get people to invest, because remember, they make their money by people investing. Even they have the country at about 0.5 to 1.3% growth. That's it. That's all they can spare for this country. And you might say, well, 1.3% growth, we've had that for the last decade or so. That's not too bad. That's terrible when you realize that the birth rate, the fertility rate in South Africa is 2.29. You want economic growth to at least match birth rates because the economy has to support new people being added to the population. If you have an economy that's growing at 0.5%, but a population that is growing at 2.3%, that means that you have a economic decline of 2.2%. right? Because there's more people that want jobs, that want money, that want to be able to survive, but the economy can physically not support these people. That's not even factoring in things like inflation, things like interest rates and the like, that's also hammering this country. Fundamentally, the president doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. This is just, it's frustrating when I look and listen to the ANC and they throw around terms like BEE and affirmative action and how good it is for the company or for the country. And anyone with even a rudimentary idea of economics can look at the data and be like, well, I don't quite agree that this is in fact the silver bullet that we need within this country. In fact, it looks as if you guys are trying to steal from this country in the most efficient way possible. The reason, of course, BEE will never be scrapped in this country, the reason we will never get rid of affirmative action is because it doesn't benefit the masses. It does benefit those who are politically connected to the government. And as long as those people are on the side of the government must continue to support them, because if those people leave, they take support alongside them. Because these are the people like Kasatu, the people like the South African Communist Party, members who are connected that give vast sums of money to the government, and ultimately the cadres have to eat. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comment section down below how much you're crying for the economy of South Africa. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, hit the like if you liked, the dislike if you didn't, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Peace.